Yo, what up guys? Brent the Broker here. Today we're going to be discussing how much cash you need for your home purchase. Now, before we get started into today's episode, guys, please consider subscribing to the channel, throw bells on for notifications, and if you enjoyed the video, drop it a like. Let us know that we're doing a good job, and stick around to the end of the episode for the buyer and seller pro tip of the day. Today, guys, we're going to discuss how much cash you need to buy a home. The cash requirements for a home purchase typically fall into three buckets: down payment, closing costs, and paid outside of closing items. First of all, your down payment. If you're military, there's a zero down payment option for VA. If you're not military, the down payment options tend to range from 3.5% up to 20% or more. Now, the average down payment, there's this myth that goes around that you need 20% down to buy a home. You just don't. The average down payment for the first-time home buyer was 7%, and the average down payment for all home buyers was just 13%. So most of the time, people aren't putting 20% down. You don't need 20% down to buy a home. Now, if you put 20% or more down, you can avoid private mortgage insurance, which is an extra monthly fee. For the down payment itself, anywhere from, 3.5% to 20% down, or 0% down if you're current or former military. Assuming you were a first-time buyer looking for a starter condo in San Diego, let's say a 2-bedroom condo in San Diego at a price point of about $600,000. Most of the time, we're gonna recommend that you start with about 5% down. Loan products with down payments that are less, the fees are higher and the guidelines are more difficult. So at 5%, that's really where we suggest people start if we can. So 5% on $600,000, that would be a $30,000 down payment. Now, the second bucket you need to save for is your closing costs. Now, closing costs can vary depending on the time of the month and the time of the year that you close. It depends on the loan type, the way it's structured. Are you gonna be paying your property taxes and insurance inside your monthly payment? If so, then they're gonna have to collect some property taxes and insurance up front. Your closing costs include title fees, escrow fees. Though title and escrow are the third-party middleman companies that help facilitate the sale of the home, and then lender fees are in there as well. Closing costs range anywhere from about $8,000 to $15,000. In some cases it's less, in some cases it's more. Again, it depends on a variety of things, but if you save, that $8,000 to $15,000 range for your closing costs, that should cover it in most cases. Now, the third bucket is paid outside of closing items. Now, these are items that are not included in the closing process, so paying for your home inspection, in some cases the appraisal. Now, depending on how many different things you want inspected at the property, this can range from $1,000 up to several $1,000s. In most cases, we see most people paying, between $1,000 and $3,000 outside of closing. So if you add all these things together, you can see that you have a range of about $39,000 to $45,000 in closing costs if you were to put 5% down on a $600,000 condo. Now, each scenario is unique. If you put more down, if your closing costs are structured a little different, those things can vary. Feel free to hit us up. We'd be happy to connect with you and walk you through your unique scenario. Now, here's the pro tip of the day. You don't need any of your own money to buy a home. Yes, you don't need any of your own money. So with regards to the closing costs, there's 3 ways you can pay them. Cash out of pocket with a seller credit, meaning the seller pays it, or the lender gives you a credit in exchange for a slightly higher interest rate. So you could theoretically have all of your closing costs covered through seller credit and lender credit, or a combination thereof. And if you're military, there's no down payment. So if you got your closing cost credit and no down payment, that's no money out of pocket for our military buyers. Or if you are non-military and you're going to require a down payment, the down payment can be in the form of a gift from a family member. So that's the pro tip of the day. You can buy a home without having any funds of your own if you can, kind of finagle some of these other strategies. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Again, if you liked the video, consider subscribing to the channel. Drop it a like. We'd love your support, and we'll see you next time.